What's going on, everybody? Thank you all for joining me today. If you haven't already, please make sure to hit the like button, subscribe to the channel if you're new to the channel, and most importantly, please make sure that you are following me on Telegram at TD Media Group to help circumvent social media censorship and shadow banning. And with the introduction out of the way, let's get into today's news. And today, ladies and gentlemen, we are headed over to Minneapolis. I'm proud to take you guys to this great American city of Minneapolis. And I want to take a moment for us to listen to what Ilhan Omar had to say recently, or I want to say it was about a week ago when she was speaking at a rally for Omar Fattah, because I found it very interesting. And I think all of us need to know what's going on over there. So let's take a listen to Ilhan Omar in the great American city of Minneapolis.
Ilhan, 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 Ilhan.
السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. آدي aan ugu faraxsanahay caawa in xafladan oo dhammaan dadka iskugu wada yimideen aadi aan ugu faraxsanahay in maxaa la dhahaa ii sheeg Umar Faatax aan u taageero inuu noo noqdo duqa magaalada Minneapolis.
So I want to stay in Minneapolis, right? I want to stay in Minneapolis. This is Minneapolis. It's not Somalia. We're in Minneapolis right now. And I want to stay there. And I want to play another video of Ilhan Omar in the great American city of Minneapolis. But this time, the video that I'm going to play, it'll be transcribed. So please make sure you read this transcription at the bottom, because I want to take a moment to unpack that, right? So let's take a listen to this clip next.
caawa aan fursad u helay madaxweynaha Soomaaliya madaxweyne Xasan Sheikh Maxamuud inaan maanta ku soo dhaweyno Minneapolis. aniga iyo madaxweynaha special relationship aan qabnaa. aniga adeeraan ugu wacaa, asigana gabarteeyu idhahaa. madaxweyne sidii qof kasta uu u yiri mininkaaga waaye ku soo dhawow Minneapolis. aad iyo aad aan ugu faraxsanahay in maanta madaxweynaheena aad tahay. Somalia dadka meeshaan wada joogo dhan waa gurigooda, annaga ma dareensannihin in ay naga tahay meel naga fog. Soomaaliya wadnaheenay ku nooshahay, qalbigeenay ku jirtaa, maalin kasta aan ka fikirnaa Soomaaliya.
Now, there's a few things that you can probably take away from that if you're reading the translation as she was speaking. But what jumped out to me the most is how many times she referred to the president of Somalia as our president, right? She said that about 2, maybe 3 times, our president. And that's not your president, Ilhan Omar. Your president is Donald Trump. And therein lies the issue with the Ilhan Omars of Congress, right? You see, when you're unpacking and discussing stuff like this, people will say, oh, you're being xenophobic. No, I am not. No one has an issue with the little Hades and the little Somalias of the world, just like nobody has a problem with the little Italies of the world, right? Or I should say of this country. When people come into the country the right way, and they carve out a little slice of it for themselves, in which they bring the best of their culture to America, and you have a little Ethiopia like we do have here in LA and stuff like that. Nobody has a problem with that. People like that. People love that. Other Americans love that and like having dinner at, a little Somalia or something like that, where the best of your culture is in America, but you've come here the right way and you've assimilated and you've contributed in that way to which you've brought your culture, a piece of it here for everyone else to share in. No one has an issue with that. But when you want to open up the floodgates of illegal immigration to allow the entire third world nation in, that's when we have a problem. When you want to implement the failed policies of your home nation here in America that clearly didn't work where you're from, but for some reason you think it's going to work here, that's when there's a problem. When you continuously refer to the president of Somalia as your president, despite the fact that you're a serving congresswoman in the United States and your president is Donald Trump, that's when there is a problem. Okay. And here is where the problem lies with her. And this is why today, President Donald Trump had a very special message for Ilhan Omar. And his message was this: goodbye. This was his message. The Trump administration social media team is undefeated. They do a phenomenal job across all platforms when it comes to any and everything social media. And this is Donald Trump's response to Ilhan Omar. But what is he specifically responding to here? Why did the White House post this? Trump working at McDonald's in a drive-through, waving out of the window. Well, this is what they were responding to. They were responding to this clip here. Ilhan Omar said she doesn't mind being deported. I'm grown. I can live wherever. Let me take a moment to play that clip for you next.
I mean, I have no worry. I don't know how they take away my citizenship and like deport me, but I don't even know like why that's such a scary threat. Like, I'm not the 8-year-old who escaped war anymore. I'm grown. My kids are grown. Like, I can go live wherever I want.
Then why don't you? Because you're Somalian first. You stated these things over and over again. You've made that very clear over and over again. We all know that you don't view President Trump as your president, but the president of Somalia is your president, by your own very words. She's responding to the call of people who have constantly stated that, she should be deported. She should have her citizenship revoked, right? She should be impeached out of Congress since she despises America so much. All she does is Trump bash and she America bashes, right? And she does that all in the name, essentially, like most DNC liberals do, but particularly those of Ilhan's ilk, they do it all in the name of illegal immigration, right? Now, look at this clip here, and I'm not going to play the audio of it just to spare you. I'll just read the translation. But when you're saying stuff like this, yes, you're going to have people call for you to have your citizenship stripped, revoked, for you to be, impeached, and for you to be deported, since once again, you love your home nation so much. Look at this video clip here. Once again, I'm not going to play the video right now because I played it a bunch of times before. Many of you are familiar with this, but let me just read what she had to say during this speech, once again in Minneapolis, right? Not in English, but in her home language of Somali. Look at this here. Brothers and sisters, people of the same blood, people who know they are Somalians first, Muslims second, who protect one another, come to each other's aid, and to the aid of other Muslims too. Many Somalians have personally called me to encourage me to speak to the US government to thwart the Mao. Now, that's some sort of internal conflict that's happening in Somalia, right? Between the Mao and the people of Somalia, whatever is happening over there. Okay, we got that. So, once again, many Somalians have personally called me to encourage me to speak to the US government to thwart the Mao and help Somalia. They wanted to know what the US government could do for Somalia to ensure the Mao never turns into a full bilateral agreement. My answer to Somalians was that the US government will only do what Somalians in the US tell them to do. She would go on to say, they will do what we want and nothing else. They must follow our orders. And that is how we will safeguard the interest of Somalia. We Somalians must have the confidence in ourselves that we call the shots in the US. We live in the US, pay taxes in the US, and have a real voice. The US is a country where one of your daughters, myself, is in Congress to represent your interest. Not the interest of those who live in Minneapolis, not the interest of those who live in Minnesota. but the interest of Somalians. Are you surprised that people say you should be deported? Are you surprised that people say you should have your citizenship revoked and that you should be thrown out of Congress? Why are you surprised? You shouldn't be. Every clip that we've seen and watched from this woman so far, everything is Somalia first. But then people want to act surprised and want to pretend to be offended when you say, okay, well, if you're so Somalian to the core, goodbye. I mean, you clearly don't like it here. All you do is Trump bash and America bash. Everything's so bad here. White supremacy is destroying your life, apparently, even though she lives a very, rich life, a very rich life. But apparently she's struggling, while being, a millionaire. But she's struggling too. So you can go. But then if you say that, you get mad and pretend to be offended while constantly showing yourself to be Somalian first. This is why Trump trolls her the way that he does. And as he should, by the way, as he should. Granted that she's always speaking on him. Listen to this here. This is very funny. And I really appreciate it when Trump, just kind of responded to her nonsense as she's always Trump bashing and America bashing. Check this clip out.
Jasmine Crockett. Remember what I said? Is she a relation to the late, great Davy Crockett? I don't think so. Jasmine Crockett, let me tell you, before you even ask, she's a very low IQ person. I mean, if we ever had to pass an aptitude test, that's the one should take one because she shouldn't even be in the crowd. So I have no idea what you're going to, but I don't think we should waste our time. This is a low IQ person who I can't even believe is a congressperson. Between her and Ilhan Omar and the group. I met the head of Somalia. Did you know that? And I suggested that maybe he'd like to take her back. And he didn't want her. He said, I don't want her. Okay, what else?
Now, I want you to check this out here too, right? This is very important because Trump's speaking about Jasmine Crockett and Ilhan Omar, he said her name wrong, Ilhan Omar, which is hilarious. And people get mad at me, because Trump is speaking on the black woman, and I'm a black man, and I shouldn't allow Trump to speak on the black woman in that way. I should be trashing Trump, and because I'm not, I'm a sellout, right? I was a sellout. Well, with concerning all the blackity black stuff, I would like to submit to you this. So let's listen to Ilhan Omar because it's all fake, right? When these politicians are talking pro-black stuff like Ilhan Omar and Brandon Johnson, it's fake. And I'm going to show that to you right now. Take a look at this clip here of Ilhan Omar with Don Lemon speaking on her remarks on Charlie Kirk. We're not going to listen to the whole thing. I'm going to stop it at a very specific point when she makes mention of black people or black women, something like that, right? So check this out here. Follow me.
I have nothing to apologize for. It is a tragedy that Charlie Kirk was killed in that way. I feel for his widow and his children. They will have to live with that for the rest of their lives. But there is no legacy to honor. It was a legacy filled with bigotry, hatred, and white supremacy. And as a black woman, and as
shut up, stop. We can stop there. As a black woman, nothing. I'm not trying to hear any of that. And I'm going to show you why in a moment.
Why do you think Nancy Mace is targeting you as much as she is?
it's an easy clickbait. There is a lot of hate in this country for Muslims. There's a lot of hate in this country for black people, especially black women.
Stop. Okay, we don't need to listen anymore. All right. Now listen to this. First, take a look at this man here on your screen. Okay. Number 19, Hassan Ali Kari, I believe how you pronounce his name. He was the 19th prime minister of Somalia. And not too long ago, I believe it was earlier this year, he was in a room with Ilhan Omar and they were all having a conversation. And I just want you to take a listen to what the former prime minister of Somalia had to say about Ilhan Omar, and black people, with all that pro-blackity black talk, right? Check this out here in closing.
Somalia. Ama gabadhan jeclaada ama jeclaanina it is very important in Ilhan tahay Somali tahay meeshaas lagu jirto qofkii Soomaaliya oo aragtidiisu tahay nin madow ha qaato kursigaas ama qof cad ha qaato qof moralkiisa wax kaalisiin marka taasna waa lagu dhiirigelinayaa sababtaan arrinkan lagu soo celinaya Soomaalida oo u sheegay live iyadoo ah idinka iyo the community leaders.
Were you reading along? Because if you weren't, I'll read it to you. You know, the part that I just wanted to highlight. TD sold out. No, you're just dumb. You're just stupid. So, you know, she gets up here and she talks all this pro-blackity black stuff and she tap dances on Charlie Kirk's grave. And apparently she tap danced on Charlie Kirk's grave because of blackness, right? But then as the former prime minister, or the 19th prime minister of Somalia, is having a conversation with her president, as you saw, amongst other Somalians in their native language, what he would go on to say is, it's very important that Ilhan Omar is Somalian and that she is in the US government for us. A Somalian whose thoughts are, take that chair from a black person or from anyone else, their morals are good. A Somalian whose thoughts are, take that chair from a black person or anyone else, their morals are good. But I'm the sellout. Once again, I didn't sell out. You're just stupid. And with all that being said, that does it for today's news. So I want to thank you guys for joining me today. Please hit the like button on your way out. Subscribe to the channel if you're new to the channel. Share this video on your social media platforms. And also, do not forget to follow me on Telegram at TD Media Group. The link to my Telegram is in the description box below and pinned in the comment section as well. Thank you all for your time. Until the next video, peace and have a great afternoon.